Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna White. I am so glad that you're here today. This is Keeping It Real on Purpose, but a special edition in the company of my sisters, who is a co-host today. Someone wonderfully I think she's another sister from another mother from another country, but she's really from Brooklyn. She comes by way of Brooklyn, but she's really from another country, and I'm so excited to meet her. I'm telling you, the first time that I like literally laid eyes on her without being Zoom, we were in Canada, and we just hugged like we knew each other for 1,000 years. So I am going to introduce this amazing lady, Aretha Taylor, to you. Thanks for being my co-host today.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Edna. It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. My name is Aretha.
So I want my audience to know what you do. Because introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to know what you do.
Well, currently I am in Jamaica, and I am here because I do community outreach services for men, women, and the young people who are here in Jamaica. We provide services for them as far as counseling, food drive, school supplies, back to school supplies. We give them motivational speeches because they need it so desperately here in Jamaica. They need to be encouraged. Another thing that I do is I'm also a pastor. I have a radio show that airs in certain parts of Europe, Asia, Africa, and throughout the Caribbean. And I'm also a life strategist speaker.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I knew all of that. So I just wanted my audience to know. I'm saying, oh, nice. I know all of that. I know all of that.
Oh,
So, I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about job loss and how to recover. And I know we've all had that, whether you've been fired, whether you've been, you retired or
laid off,
had to leave. The newest thing is being burnt out and you had to leave. And that's a job loss by itself. But we're going to talk about that. So I'm interested to hear like what you think about that, because I've experienced it just most recently. But I'm interested in what your take is.
Okay, well, job loss for me. I was laid off twice in my adult years, and the first time it happened, fear kicked in.
Yeah.
Fear and worry, right? You're worried about your finances.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal? How are you going to pay your bills, especially if you have children? And I had a child, and I was a single mom. And so fear kicked in. So what I did was I took some time while I was still looking, but I reevaluated myself and assessed my life and where I wanted to be. And what I was looking for now, because during that time I was changing. And so I did not want to settle.
Yeah.
So I needed somewhere where Aretha could be Aretha and be creative at the same time and to be respected for my work. So I did a lot of that as far as reevaluating myself and where I wanted to be professionally. Yeah.
I know that. Okay. So for me, I hear what you're saying, and I want you to dig deep, because I'm gonna go deep myself. For me, I have never lost a job. In my younger years, never, because God always like gave me this amazing job. Like I was a receptionist for walk radio. I'm sitting there, like I'm around these top billed guys, and I'm getting gifts from them, and I'm just saying, oh yeah, he's over there. I'm dressed every day, cute and everything. And then I think my next job wasn't so glamorous. It was I was working with the handicapped, and I became a supervisor before I knew it. Wasn't ready for that. But I think when I transitioned, I transitioned from that to becoming my own boss, and that was a loss for me, because I was serving people, I was serving, and I didn't get a chance to. I think what I heard with you, and I think it's I was worried about the finances, so I was like, I didn't get a chance to grieve that and then get here and I just missed a step and then I got burnt out. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my second job, where I lost my that job I was on for 7 years, right?
Right.
I was bored because I didn't want to. I wanted to be self-employed,
Right. Okay. Got you.
right? And so I was bored with what I was doing. I became bored after the seventh year, right? And what they were doing was not me. It wasn't fulfilling me.
Okay.
It
Got you.
wasn't
All right.
fulfilling my purpose, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
I know I needed to be
Mm-hmm.
somewhere to fulfill my purpose.
Right.
And so when I was laid off, I was happy because now that pushed me. It
Yeah.
forced me to
Yeah.
now begin to walk into my
Oh
purpose,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
sometimes when we lose our job,
Right.
we're being forced because we get
Yeah.
complacent.
Yeah.
We become complacent and we become comfortable and we
Right.
settle. So God has a way,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
of shifting us,
Yeah.
moving us,
Right.
forcing us
Right.
to
Oh, of
come
course.
out
Of
of that
course.
place of complacency,
Right.
that place of fear, because a lot of times we are afraid
Oh
to
yeah.
move
It's
on,
definitely fair.
right?
Absolutely fair. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Right. So we're afraid of moving on from this place because we're so used to it now. We
Right.
become so used to it. We know how to do it. So we become so comfortable.
Right.
And many times we need to be pushed out of that comfort place
Yeah. Yeah.
because it can stifle us. You know,
Yeah.
it can kill us
Of
spiritually.
course. I mean, I see that all the time. And I know you see it when you're coaching individuals.
Hmm.
They'd rather stay in the misery of what they're doing, like what's happening with them. And I said, "Do you see that you're miserable?" Um, I found myself coaching a lot of IT people who
Uh,
are from IT,
uh,
women especially, and I said, "Do you see? This boss is saying this to you, making you feel bad." Da, da, da. I said, "Do you see that you're in all of this? You're in all of this, and you'd rather
mm,
be there than on your own or having your own team." But I believe the fear is not about the fear of am I can I, it's the fear of being successful.
right,
It's not. I figured that out. I'm telling you, for my own self.
right.
Okay. So when I was in my job I went back to work, and I thought it was an assignment from God. See, putting stuff on God. Okay, just saying, putting stuff on God. Thought it was an assignment, and I kept asking, I said, God, why am I here? These people don't want me here. That I then they're not like me, and I'm forcing myself on them. I'm walking around here. You can just see me, right? La la la, and everybody's at the desk. They'd rather send you an email and sit right across from you than to talk to you.
Talk with you.
Okay, so that's what I was dealing with. Little did I know when I opened that Pandora box of la la la. This is how you doing? Did I open up the toxicity? At the same time.
Mm,
And so it started. Then I started seeing toxic things, and I'm like, now I'm trying to get away from it to stay there. And you see what I'm saying? Like, but then I had to leave because I was burnt out from
ah,
overexertion. Number one, I thought it was like doing too much work, but when you're aligned, you don't do too much work. You don't. You don't
say
ever
it,
do what you're assigned to do. You don't
say
ever.
it.
What I was burnt out with was trying to overcome
Uh-huh.
the toxicity, to get
Ah,
above it. But when something toxic is in your water, you can't get that out. The water is toxic along
the
with it.
water is toxic. Yes.
It's toxic. So when you're swimming in it and you're trying to, you got only thing you can do is get out of the water.
You got to come out of it.
You got to
Yes.
come out of it. You can't even clean it out. It's done. It's done. So my burnt out was from being in a toxic environment. That's what
Mm.
my burnout was. So when
At your
that
job.
loss, when that loss happened for me, I had no time to grieve. I had to think quick on my feet, and then think quick on my feet in order to get back into where God originally. I told you pre-show, 12 years old. I knew where it was. I knew as an instructor, a teacher, naturally got out of that because I was listening to everybody else. And then I got there and I was like, now what do I do? And guess where I was? Depressed.
Get out of here.
I was depressed. Sleeping, all of that. Didn't know what to do. When I got to it, no, I don't feel like doing it today. Or no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just so tired of people. I didn't acknowledge it was depression until I found myself in the hole of no finances. I'm like, whoa, why did I get here? See, the hard questions when there's loss is why am I here? I'm not talking about like loss of your child, but I'm talking job loss.
Right.
We don't like to take our piece in it.
Right.
Why am I here? I quit. I left because it was toxic. I couldn't do anything. But when I was given the charge or taking the rod back,
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I became depressed. That's the only thing I knew to do is, okay, shut down. No one teaches us resilience because in our loss, we do have to grieve. Yes, that job was great, and but this is my part. I didn't do that. This is my part. This is their part. What I didn't do is I saw the signs, and I'm admitted myself. I saw the signs from the very first day, and I should have left. But guess what I didn't do? I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. You didn't leave.
So I had to come to reconciliation with all that.
Yeah.
Right? Because my need, not my wants, but my need was screaming, take it, take it, take it, take it. And I shouldn't have.
Yes. That happened to me one time. Similar, very similar. I took a job because of desperation. Because after I got laid off from my job of 9 years, right? So I took a job out of desperation. And the commute was hell. I was leaving from Canarsie, Brooklyn, all the way to Queens, to the Boondocks.
Oh, wow.
And I had to be at work for 6 a.m. So you can imagine what time I had to leave my house.
Yes.
4 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes.
And working with all these construction workers up and down the steps. And that was unhealthy environment for me at the time because my weakness were men. So I was like, I take it. And these men were good looking men, you know what I'm saying? So, but the work in it, and I was like, I don't see myself here. I don't see myself being here. I don't see myself working, going here. Yeah. So I did it for 1 week because the pay was good and I was desperate. And I did it 1 week and I sent an email to the person who hired me, and she understood. I told her it wasn't for me. I should have never taken it because I felt the weight of it already within that week. Between commuting, between the environment, between the men. I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. So I left, and I remember after leaving, my daughter looked at the paycheck. It was like $800 and something for that 1 week. She like, Mommy, this is how much you gonna be bringing home? 1 week? You left that job? I said, girl, no. You can't look at the money. I'm looking at my peace of mind. I'm looking at what that place can do to me. So that's why I had to leave. And after I left, like 2 weeks later, I found the job that I really was happy at and wanted until 7 years. But like you said, you feel something, you know something in the beginning, right? But we don't leave. I think a lot of times is because we feel, okay, I can make that change. I can make
that,
right?
Ooh, and that's ego, girl. You know that's ego. Stop it now.
Take on an assignment that was not given to us because we were not prepared for that assignment mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. You have to be prepared for that thing.
That's right.
Not
that is so right.
Where you out,
Yes.
wear you out, beat
Yes.
you up, make you feel depressed, make
Yes.
you feel bitter, make
Yes.
you feel angry, make you feel begin now to doubt,
Yes.
question yourself, and have insecurities and all
Yes.
this stuff when it
Yep.
was not for you in the first
Nope.
place.
Was not.
Mm,
And I'm gonna tell you, you have to come into realization and awareness that it was
right,
not for you.
right.
This assignment was not for you, because I'm gonna tell you, they sought me out. That's how I know it wasn't for me. I'm like, oh, I'm so, but my ego, and let's get it real now. I'm being so
Oh,
very real. My
yo,
ego,
yeah.
oh, they sought me out.
Come
It
on.
must be popping.
Right.
Yeah, I was not popping. They was trying to pop me, okay? They was trying to pop me. I'm telling you, they tried to take all of my contacts,
Oh my gosh.
make me do stuff that I ethically would never do. All of that. They were trying to bring me to a level that I wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
Now listen to my kids. Hold on a second. Hold on
Okay.
1 minute. So sorry about that.
Okay.
Loss of thought, grandkids, let me tell you, and the dog. But
It happens. Right?
anyway, what was I saying? So it was ego for me. I know it was. I thought I was, like I said, I was popping, that somebody be looking for me, but they tried to strip me of my leadership. One thing that, you know, the ED would always say to me, every time I go somewhere, I hear your name. Everybody knows you. And she said it so negative, like I started to question, am I supposed to be? I started questioning myself. That's what those are, microaggressive things, when you're not in the right place where God tells you to be, or where He assigns you, or you get off that path and do what you want to do. This is what you get.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I experienced. This is what I said. This is what I get. I
Right.
need a sign. When I first got there, I was
Mhm.
late, girl. Never been late before. I'm late getting there. Now I knew this place at the back of my hand. How I get lost, I don't even know.
Uh-huh.
First sign. Second sign to get in there, I get an attitude. Oh, you late? I said, I know I'm late. I just want to stop in and say I'm late. I apologize. I know that you're waiting for me. Thank you for waiting for me. And if this is unacceptable, thank you for the opportunity. And that's what I said. No, no, no. Come on in. And I knew. And then I had to say, hey, listen. First of all, I'm a grown woman. You don't talk to me like that. Showed you respect. You showed me respect.
Ah,
So when that even happened, third warning. Okay, third warning. Then let me tell you, the universe is fantastic. It's like abracadabra. For the fourth time, it's just like you expect me to believe that you got lost. I said,
mm,
first of all, I don't waste my time lying for something like that, because I tell you the truth. But I got lost.
mm.
It is what it. 4 times. Okay. I said, listen, I started to get up. Listen, I ain't playing all these games. I don't got time. Why didn't I follow through and walk out the door? Because my ego was in charge. Let me show her who I am. Number two, I needed it. I needed to I didn't trust, first of all, myself, and I didn't trust God to provide for me. I really didn't trust. Like I trust now that every need that I have will be met. Like I trust now. I didn't have that then. Didn't have
Yeah.
that. And all those things were screaming out loud. And guess what she saw? Gotcha. Her ego
Mm.
gotcha, and all the microaggressions started to come. The worst thing was they had no idea what I was supposed to do. No clue. I had to create that.
Oh, wow.
I had to create the position, the duties, and the hours. I had to do all of that. Even through even through situations like that, God still makes a way for you to kind of escape. Because if I created my own position, I can create myself out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Did I realize that then? No. What was taking
No,
over? The worry about how am I going to make it? I need to get out of. I need
of
to get out of the
course.
situation I am in. That's all was screaming. That's all was screaming. I didn't see all those signs. Job loss. When you're retiring. And it's a forced thing. Now it's forced. Retirement is forced. You
Mm.
know, um, when
Mm-hmm.
you're burnt out, yes, you mentally you can't
That's a
continue.
sign right there
Yeah,
when
you
you're
can't.
burnt
Yeah,
out.
burnt out. It's a sign.
You
It's a sign.
know, it's I need to leave this job. I need to take some time off
Yeah.
to assist, to
Yeah.
assess, to reevaluate, to do something. I remember my
Yes.
daughter who lives in New York.
Hmm.
Her last job, she was working at a shelter as a director for a shelter. She
Hmm.
came home one day and she just looked.
Beat, right? Really beat.
Her wig was twisted to the side. And I said, "What is going on?" I was like, "Nah." She says, "Mommy, I hate their voices." I said, "It's time to leave.
Yes.
It's time to
Yes.
seriously
Yes.
pray and leave. Because if
Yeah.
you're saying you hate," she says, "I hate their voices." And
Yes.
she left shortly after
Yes.
she did leave.
Yeah. I realize that too. I will get a headache as soon as the time to get to work, 10 o'clock, I get a headache. Never
Yeah,
had a headache in my life. And I went and I was going through this and I went to the doctors. I said, no, something ain't right. Went to the
right.
doctors. Now my doctor knew me pretty well. I'm not on any medications now, even now. And he says, and let me ask you two questions. Do you feel like hurting yourself? I said, no. He said, do you feel like hurting somebody else? I said, yeah, everybody on the Zoom, I wish I could see them face to face and beat them all up.
Oh,
That's when he
it's
said,
time to
okay.
leave.
He said, Edna, it's time for you to take off. Here's your note right here. And I
Right.
need you to calm down. I'll give you 2 weeks at a time, but this is not you. And he said, I'm gonna give you something to take the edge off because whether you're saying it, in fun or jest, it's still coming out your mouth. And I meant
Mm,
it. And I meant it. I
you
would
meant
slap them
it.
all because they were mean, they were nasty, they were degrading. They were on their in their own trauma and pain and beliefs and biases that they didn't see me as a person
Mm,
giving them something that they didn't have. So they couldn't even appreciate me. So if you're not being appreciated, you're in the wrong position.
correct.
You're in the wrong position. When you're
Correct.
being beaten and used, and I think about this, and I know it's the most harshest
Hmm.
example, but think about slaves doing a job they didn't want to do and
Wow.
beaten to do it.
Wow.
Think
Yeah.
to yourself in a similar situation at work when you're prodding along and you're not getting no recognition, no appreciation, no freedoms to be you. It's the same logic. It's time to escape and escape with your life, even if
Mm-hmm.
it costs your life, because it may just if you stay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so job
Mm-hmm.
loss. I know there's some people talk about the steps of grief. You know, um, grieving for me was realizing that it wasn't what my assignment was. That wasn't my
Mm-hmm.
assignment. That's the grieving. I had to get over. I got to get over being mad at myself. That wasn't where I was supposed to be. That's not.
Right.
That's
Mm-hmm.
being aware of that. That was the grief for me. Is I wasn't supposed to be there. Number two is grieving that I had to apologize to myself for thinking less of myself that I could change somebody else when only God can do that.
Right.
Scary thing, right? It's a
Right.
scary thing to say, no,
Right.
you can't change anybody. Edna can't change anybody. They can be influenced to change, influenced by how, if I'm living, not what I say, but how I'm living. They can be
Right. Right.
influenced by that.
Right.
But they don't, they have to change on their own. That journey is their own. And one of my good friends that I actually met through, doing the podcast, Nigel said to me, we have the uncanny ability to take somebody else's testimony. I was like, whew, that was scary to me. I was like, what? She
Mm-hmm.
goes, we want to save people, but that's not our job. They
Mm-mm.
have a testimony they have to live for God. We can't
Mm-mm.
save them. They
Mm-mm.
have to go that route. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we take that opportunity from them by posing, do this, do that, do this, do this. And when we need to leave them alone and just live the way we're supposed to us. It scared me. So yeah, I got some good friends. I got some good friends that put me in my place.
Yeah. Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
it. That's really it. So let's talk about like how we can recover. We've been through it. We've been through it. We
Mhm.
both been through it. What's one step that you can give to the audience to recover?
Again, you have to know what you want.
Ooh, sheesh.
If you don't know what you want, you will be lost
Yeah,
and you will continue to settle. You have to know at that time in your life, at that moment,
yeah.
ask yourself this question: where do I go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do I want to do with my life right now?
Yeah, yeah.
What sort of support do I want to give to my family?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's not always about the financial
Right.
support.
Mm-mm. Right.
Because you could be making six figures and still be miserable and
Mm-hmm.
bring that home
It's true.
to your family.
True.
So that's what you need to ask yourself first. These
Mm-hmm.
questions.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a process, and you go through your grief. Again, for me, flip side, it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
grief for me, it was a blessing for me because I wanted out and I wanted to start working and building my own organization, right? So it was a
Right.
blessing
Right.
for me. So if you have to grieve, grieve, because
Yeah.
sometimes when we are fired or we lose a job or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we lose friends,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because we become close with our
Right.
coworkers. We don't
Right.
see them anymore. We're not spending time with them anymore. Things have changed. And so you also lose friends,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if you have to grieve, you must grieve. But I go back to that. Ask
Right.
yourself these questions when this happened
Yeah.
and sit with yourself for a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
process it all
That's
and
number
go,
one. I think that's number
yes,
one. That's
yes,
number one.
process it
Mm-hmm.
where you want to be um at that time.
Yep. For the second one, I would say for me would be to, I know that you're going to explore other opportunities, but
Mm,
stick to a routine,
hmm.
because I had a routine, and then because I was delving into myself and woe is me, I got out of the routine.
Yeah.
Stick to a routine. If you're looking for a career, yes, seek out the opportunities. But if you're going to be, working for yourself and setting up organizations like you and I have,
Hmm.
stick to a routine.
Hmm.
This what I'm doing, this what I'm doing. Stick to it, because it'll give you the confidence.
Be
You got this, you got
consistent.
this, you got
Hmm.
this, you got this. And then stick to the routine. No
Hmm.
matter what it is, stick to it. Don't look at no shiny stuff. Don't listen to nobody else.
Right.
Don't watch too many videos. Don't do
Don't
all
compare
that stuff.
yourself to other people either.
Yes,
Hmm.
don't do that. Just stick
Hmm.
to a routine. Set it up. What you're gonna do for the next day. The tasks you're gonna do to set up where you're going,
Hmm.
moving forward. For me, that was my, because I started to delve into woe is me, woe is me situation. I
Hmm.
started to get in there, and it's hard to avoid it, but it does happen. But don't
Yes.
I didn't internalize. I started internalizing the
Right.
rejection. The rejection. I internalized it that they didn't like me because
Right.
it wasn't about that. It
You took it
wasn't really about
personally. Yeah.
I took it too personal, and it wasn't
Mhm.
about that. They were just toxic,
Right.
and that's all they knew how to be. That's
Right.
it.
Hmm.
So you got to meet people where they are. That's just where they were, you
Hmm.
know. So I would say um, establish a routine and stick to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Be
What else?
consistent.
Yeah, yeah. Be consistent. What else would you say?
Definitely be consistent. Um, Networking.
Whew, yes.
Networking was a
Yeah.
big thing for me and
Yeah.
still is. Networking is amazing.
It's major. It's major.
Yes, it's a major, major part of this.
Major. Let me tell you, it's major.
Mm-hmm.
It's me and collaboration as we're doing together.
Absolutely.
Collaboration. Allow yourself.
Partnerships.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
allow yourself. As women, and people always talk to me about this. As women, we need to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we say that, but when you meet a kindred spirit like you and I mean, we loved each other the moment we started talking. It was just like it's over.
Right. Right.
It was we felt we were going by
We were
spiritual
connected.
connection. It was
Yes.
over. It was over.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I knew her for 100 years. Didn't you know?
Right.
you know. So that is important. What you're saying, collaboration, partnership, networking, get out there. What we often feel that God's going to just drop stuff in our laps.
Mm-hmm.
What's the scripture that says faith without works is what?
Is dead.
Ah,
Yep.
it's dead. Faith in yourself, faith in God,
Mm-hmm.
faith that's going to work out,
Mm-hmm.
and then put in some work.
Works.
That's it.
Absolutely. Must put
Put
the
in some
work in.
work. Yeah, put the work in.
It's
That's what you got to
important that you
do.
do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when you're doing that, assess your marketable skills. What are again, I think it goes back to what you said, Aretha, knowing what you want,
Yeah.
knowing yourself,
Right.
knowing who you are. What's your marketable skills?
Right.
And I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm a people, no, not a people person. I love giving to people. I just help. Don't you know that's why we made with two hands, two ears, two eyes, one mouth? Connection. That we're all born with that. Get past that.
Right.
What are your marketable skills? What skills do you have that you
Right.
can really market to people? Everybody, yes, we're here to relate. That's what we're here for. That's now go past that. What's your marketable skills? What is somebody looking for
Mm-hmm.
you in you? What can
Mm-hmm.
you use to get either another career or get a partnership or a sponsorship? Because that's what we're really looking for in our organizations, partnerships and donations, to
Yes.
further our advancement. Because let me tell you, although it says nonprofit, we do make a profit in order. We have to get paid to help them. We have to get
Absolutely.
money to help them. So,
Absolutely.
right. So we market we go out
Mm-hmm.
and we accept speaking engagements,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities to
Mm-hmm.
connect. By
Mm-hmm.
networking, we use our marketable skills, which is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Right.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah. And I think the last thing is for both of us, I think we didn't get rid of both of our support systems. Ask for
Mm-hmm.
help.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you use that network, ask for a job. Ask, hey, spread my name around. I don't have a problem with asking.
Yes.
I'll ask the governor if he's my friend. I'm going to ask
Yeah.
him, hey, you know if any jobs around? I'm going to
Right.
ask.
Right.
When I got into sales, they told us we know 3,000 people. I was like, no, I don't. And my trainer said, no, I didn't say the ones you like. I said the people you don't contact. And she was right. You go
Mm-hmm.
through your email, you know about 3,000 people that you
Right.
just came in contact or never contacted them again.
Right.
That's what networking is. It's furthering that, building that relationship, building upon it.
And
And
building trust.
yes.
Because Edna, when you touched on something so important before, you said women and collaboration,
Yes.
right? And I'm sure you ran into this jealousy.
Oh yeah. It's horrible.
And I can pick up, I can sense it already from the first time I meet the individual.
First step.
Yes.
First
If
step.
if there's if they feel a little intimidated or threatened or there's jealousy
Yeah.
there, I don't even pursue it. I don't
Yeah.
even I because for me, I'm not competing with you
Right.
because I don't want what you have.
Right.
I
Yes.
don't want what you have.
Yeah.
I want what God has for
For
me.
me. Yeah.
And
And
I'm
my gift
staying
will make room
and I'm
for me.
staying in my
Period.
lane.
Yeah.
I'm
And
staying in
my
my
gift
lane.
will make room
Make
for me.
room for me.
Push you right
Exactly.
out of the way.
So
It don't
I
have nothing
I
to do with you.
I have no competition. I have no
No. No.
competition because I'm not competing with
Yeah.
anyone. I'm doing what God has called me
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And if you and I can collaborate, if you and I can come together, if
Yeah.
me and John or me and Peter and Paul can come together and make this happen, then let's
Hmm.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's
So
do
this
it.
is so important. You have to
It is.
build trust, and
Right.
know, don't go into something or collaboration or partnership with anyone you do
Right.
not feel
Right.
led to.
Right. And I think, I even go the extra step. Is when I
Mhm,
meet somebody and they're, especially on the podcast, and I'm gonna
mhm,
tell you, I turn down people because of their the words are not right, and then I feel this stuff going on. And I said, you know what? Maybe you're not in a great mood today. Maybe I don't know what's going on, but I feel
mm.
our thing,
Your energy,
and I
yes.
don't I don't want to impede, or I'm here to build relations, not impede them. So let's do this. Let's come back around to this. Let's end this right here. Unless if the universe brings us back together, we can do this. But
Mhm.
right now, I don't. We're going combating. We're going back and forth, and
Mm,
you're saying this, you're saying that, and I have to defend it. I don't defend who I
mm,
am.
mm.
I don't defend who I am.
Come
And
on,
I don't
girl.
have to clarify who I am. And I'll tell them quick, Google me. And that ain't nothing wrong with. I used to think that was something wrong with that, but I was like,
Yeah.
Google me. Everybody gets Googled. Everybody gets Googled. I said, Google me. I said, you got Siri on your phone or Alexa? Ask them who I am. They'll tell you. I
Mm,
come right up.
mm.
So I
I'm gonna
don't. I
Google
don't.
you when I'm done.
I don't I don't go back and forth with people anymore
Right.
because I'm
Yes.
so secure in my place
Yes.
of where God has me. Has
Yes.
me. I don't, and people think that, oh, I even don't even take phone calls from people unannounced. Like, what are you calling me for? Like, did we make an appointment?
Mm.
No, because what people,
I like that.
you know, when we were
I like
kids,
that.
if
Yeah.
somebody came knocking the door, my mother said, don't answer the door.
Come on.
Not because they were evading bills.
No.
I don't know
I
anybody
wasn't
supposed to be
expecting
coming to
anyone.
my house.
Right.
My mother would always tell me, you call me or you let me know you coming at what time. Nobody's answering that door. No. They can leave a note or they can come back or they can call me because I got a phone. My mother taught me that when I was very young because we run barrel downstairs, try to answer the door. What do you answer the door for? We're not
Right.
expecting anybody. That's the first
Right.
question. Were you expecting someone?
Expecting
Which you would
someone.
ask your husband.
Right.
Were you expecting someone? No.
Right.
What we answer the door for? Same thing with phone calls. You call me, hey, like you know me. Who is this? Do I have an email from you? And I tell them, listen, unless I have an appointment with you,
Yeah.
we're not talking. And that's just it. That's really it. We're not going to do that because then I start to do impetuous things, and I'm caught off guard.
Mhm,
You're caught off guard to make decisions off the
mhm,
cuff
mhm,
without knowing the
mhm,
full picture.
mhm.
And that's what
So
gets us in trouble.
respect people's time. Respect your
That's
time. Respect my time.
exactly.
Value my time as well.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I was speaking with someone a couple of weeks ago, and she said when she had phone calls like this, set up podcasts and Zoom
Mm-hmm.
meetings, whatever. She said she would wait for 10 minutes. I
Uh-huh.
said, that's pretty long. And the person wouldn't show up. She says, now 2 minutes. I said, 2 minutes? She said,
Yes, I used to
"Rita,
wait 10
2
minutes.
minutes. She
I
said,
used to
that's it.
wait
I'm
10
done.
minutes. Then I said
Wow.
2 minutes
That's long.
because 10 minutes is a long time.
It
But
is.
then I said, okay, I'm gonna wait 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And I just did this the other day, and they said, "Oh, I just hopped on. I was on." I said, "Well, our call was at 2, not 2:05."
Yeah. At least send a text message to say I'm running
That's
late or
what I
something.
said. That's why we have phone numbers. We have
Come on.
emails. You couldn't send me an email to say you're going to be late. Reschedule. And sometimes they don't reschedule. Then it's like, "Oh, you don't have an appointment for me," because I said, because I'm booked out with people who really want to be on the call. And that's, because we have to be so very confident in, it's not about being confident in you, it's about where God has placed me, and I've done the work, you know
And still doing the work.
yeah, still doing the work, and I just don't.
Still doing the
I don't
work.
know. No, I'm getting
Mhm,
to a place now. Okay, God, what do you want me to do?
mhm,
And that's what comes with job loss. And now you can be recovering, but you got
mhm,
to live this life as a spirit being, living
mhm,
human, having a human experience.
mhm,
That's different than living as a human, because a human you'll be
mhm.
overtaken.
Yes.
But if you're living a spiritual life, living as a human being,
Mhm,
you get more out of it.
mhm.
I was living, let me tell you, our life. That life back over there was I was being so human, didn't even know I had a spiritual part of me that worked. And I was making all kind of bad decisions, right?
Yeah.
Bad decisions. And so I had to readjust, realign,
Mhm,
and say, hey, this is God work.
mhm,
God work. This is God work.
mhm.
It's in here. God's in here. Not all around there waiting on me, waiting on him being here to listen.
Right,
And it's
right.
all God work. It's all in work. It's all of that. You know, um, Aretha, I really appreciate you. I know we can go on for hours, but we can't. And we could go on for hours. But audience, Aretha's going to be my co-host for a month, so you'll get to hear about a lot about what we talk about. So um, I'm really glad you're here.
I'm glad to be
Um,
here.
and tell us some things that maybe, or you can give us a last, the audience, the last, hurrah on
Mm.
what they could do, or maybe something that you're doing, coming up that we can all hop on and be part of.
Well, it's important to know who you are.
Uh huh.
It's important to know what you have in you, what you carry in you. Because if you don't know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
people will take advantage of you, they will
Yeah.
disrespect you. You
Yep.
won't even know your worth and your value.
Yep. It's true.
So when I'm listening to you and the decisions that you've made, what you're saying a while ago, it's because
Mm-hmm.
you know your value. And when you know your value,
Yeah.
you begin to move differently,
Mm-hmm. Really do.
think differently,
Yes.
make different, better
Yeah.
choices.
Mm-hmm.
You begin to let go of certain things, of certain
Yeah.
people, and let go of certain behavior.
Right.
Behaviors that we have, that we carried with us for years. So you have to know who you are. And by getting to know who you are, you must spend time with yourself. Because this all comes back to the jobs and the
That's
jobs
right.
that we choose in our careers.
That's
You
absolutely
must
right.
first build a relationship with yourself. If you don't have a relationship with yourself, then you won't even get to know who you are.
You tell that.
I am still finding out who Aretha is because Aretha is changing
That's
every.
right.
I am not the same person today as I was yesterday.
Nope.
It's a daily thing, it's a
It's true.
process. So you must sit with who you are, the good, the
Yes,
bad, and the ugly. I
that's
sit with
right.
the good, the bad, and the ugly part of me, and I say, Aretha, I don't like this about you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like how you behaved. I don't like what
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking right now. I don't like how you did that. I sit with
Mm-hmm.
myself and I speak with myself and I said, how could you have done that differently?
Right.
Sometimes I even have to apologize
Yeah,
to the person and to myself as well.
yeah.
Apologizing to yourself,
That's
forgiving
right. It's
yourself,
important.
very important.
Very important. Very important.
Very important.
Yeah,
Because this all has to do with the choices that we make, and
yeah.
that includes the jobs, our
Yep,
career.
yep.
And you can't choose a career if you don't even know who you are and
Right.
what your skills are and what your
Yep,
gifts are.
yep. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, we thank you, Aretha, for being here.
I
My
thank
special
you so
co-host.
much,
We will
Miss
be back
Edna.
again for three more shows, right? So we'll be
Yes,
together, and
look forward to it.
this won't be the last because I know that she has so much wisdom, and that's probably why we connect so well. It's like, she can give it to me, I give it to her. We work. Yes, yes. It makes
Absolutely.
us stronger. It makes us stronger
Mhm.
as women. Makes us stronger as spirit beings. Makes
Iron
us stronger,
sharpens
stronger as
iron.
human. Yes,
Mhm,
absolutely,
mhm,
absolutely. So we
mhm.
thank you all for being
Thank
here,
you.
and we hope that you got something out of the message. Now, remember, you can always leave a comment below. And Aretha Taylor will be tagged in to
Mhm.
answer the questions, and you can invite her out to speak actually and invite me out. Already know that, but you can
Absolutely.
invite her out to speak and be part of what you're doing, or just help you and support you where you are. This is Edna White and my esteemed guest Aretha Taylor. We're saying goodbye for now.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.